He's still doing Nicolas Cage shit in this movie. It's still, I mean, he's still Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
There's scenes where he's driving down the street. Oh, 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 it's like, that's Nicolas Cage. What is different, y'all?
Completely non sequitur, as doesn't match anything else. Like the movie has its own groove, and then it cuts to him, and he's doing something completely different.
Yeah.
And I was like, was this supposed to be scary? Because I think it's making people giggle.
Man, everybody been talking about this movie, man. They say, man, you see that? You see that horror movie that's about to come out with Nicolas Cage as a crazy serial killer? And then you got people like me who say, shit, that's just Nicolas Cage.
Right.
What else is new? Look, I'm the person that think Nicolas Cage got bodies all around his house, his castle.
He could.
Yeah, that's why he buys castles.
Right. Hey, you know what? You're right. That's a perfect place to hide bodies.
Yeah, he got
he's got a dungeon in there.
He's got a torture dungeon down there, and
Yeah.
not a sex dungeon.
Right.
He uses it probably for that too, but one of them old medieval torture dungeons.
Right, and it's probably like secret rooms where you gotta like pull a torch and the rock wall slides away.
Oh hell yeah! See, y'all talking about that horror movie with Nick Cage. Nick Cage been a horror movie for years. What y'all talking about? Ain't nothing new around here. Oh man, but we ain't never seen him like this before. Come on, man. Oh, that movie Longlegs, man. I mean, just based on this performance alone, man. And Martin had to correct me. I said, man, people been talking about that this is the scariest, most terrifying movie of 2020. Martin said, nothing. He said it's the most horrifying, most terrifying movie of the decade.
Decade, yeah.
And we are just at 2024. Like the next 6 years ain't shit on Longlegs. Ain't no movie gonna be able to compete with them legs right there. You better have some really long legs to go up against this shit right here. Yeah, the next 6 years, don't even worry about making horror movies, man.
No.
Longlegs is here.
You can stop now.
Yeah, you
better turn that shit into a rom-com.
Yeah, you can quit. Hey, who's making a horror movie right now? Put the camera down. You're done. Don't even bother with it. Yeah, like Martin said, go make a comedy. Go make a cartoon. Those are making money right now.
Yeah, your whole special effects makeup team, send them home.
Yeah, you
save your money.
Exactly, people. Yeah, this is one where Nicolas Cage, he is the title character, Longlegs. And he's out there doing I don't know what he's doing. He's out there giving people creepy dolls and saying crazy stuff to them. And this time he also has, oh man, it's Nicolas Cage, but I mean, it's Nicolas Cage with this crazy squeaky voice now. Ooh, I can see why this is terrifying. Nicolas Cage with a squeaky voice? Talking like this? Oh man, I get goosebumps. Just saying those words right there. Can't tell you everything about this, but what we can tell you is that it's very similar, at least with the idea, to another movie out there. And that's probably what is bringing back some chills to people too. We'll talk about what this movie is compared to in a little bit, but it is somewhat of a mystery that when you're watching this, you don't know. Oh man, it's got elements, speaking of things out there that it compares to, really one thing in particular, but it also kind of feels like Seven in its dreary tone. And, except that this time, maybe, I don't know. This time, maybe things might actually be crossing over into the supernatural. That's what you're thinking through this whole thing, man. Is this really just a real serial killer, or is there something demonic going on here? That is how creepy this movie is. That's how scary this movie. Ooh, no wonder no other movies can't compete with this anymore. Let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer. Very effective trailer, I must say. This trailer just scared the hell out of everybody.
It's a great trailer.
It is an amazing trailer. Let's take a look at this trailer for Longlegs. This trailer is scaring the shit out of everybody, and we'll be back to tell you about the movie itself with our review right after this.
Is it scary being a lady FBI agent?
Now she saw somebody go up in there and she gonna go back in the house. They might have to use the bathroom or something. They all right.
Right.
They ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah.
Oh shit, oh god damn, the words even scared the hell out of me. Oh my God, people. So, to tell you a little bit more about this, but not much, because a lot of people need to go in knowing as little about this as possible. So you have You have Micah Monroe, who plays FBI agent Lee Harper. And she's on this case where there's a killer out there named Longlegs. And this guy has been very elusive in how he's doing things. Apparently he's killing people from a distance. And that's throwing the whole FBI off. But she does have these almost like this sixth sense or these capabilities of.
She's sort of half psychic.
Yeah, kind of psychic in a way, even though nobody believes it really, but she claims it, and she does these weird things that she can read into clues that nobody else can see. She finds patterns in things that no one else can see. So either she's got some sort of genius or autism, or she really is psychic, or maybe all of the above. But whatever it is, she's seeing clues that's making her say, this is a killer like we've never seen before. And I cannot explain how he's able to do this. I don't know if it's a cult or what. I don't know. I cannot explain how he's doing these killings from a distance like this. But so I'm looking at this, and man, so everyone, when I say everyone, I'm talking about everyone is talking about how they use the same word, terrifying this is. I got to the screen and every critic in there buzzing. Oh my God. Because they went in there talking about, man, we've been begging for a screening of this because it's the scariest movie ever. And man, you keep waiting till you see this. Oh, it's nothing. They were already ready to love this movie. Nothing's going to touch this movie, man. I mean, everybody's talking about it. People have seen it. When they walk out the theater, they're not even the same person anymore.
I don't know if they were saying all that.
Close to it. They were talking about how dudes were getting up in the middle of some screenings and walking out. That's it. I can't take it anymore. Walking on the handrails or the armrest, walking out of this. Like the reactions to certain screenings or people going to certain theaters to see this, they said people have just been shocked. They can't, some people have walked out in disgust, or they can't take all the horror up there.
Okay, I don't know how to process everything you're saying.
Kirk, the rep, he was talking about how one dude said, "That is it. I've had enough." And he walked out, and I guess it was so tight. He was in such a hurry to get the hell out the theater that he started walking on the handrest.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Stepping on people and everything to get out of there. And they're saying it's mainly because of crazy Nicolas Cage in this. They even trying to sell this movie on how creepy Nicolas Cage is in this film. They got one video out there, I guess one teaser, where it's not even the characters in the movie. The actress said, "Oh my God, I took one look at Nicolas Cage when he came out, and my heart rate just went up."
That blurb is plastered everywhere.
Yes.
All right, lock it up and let's roll sound. We will translate this. Thank you.
Now, for those who can't read this, you just have to be listening. They're putting on the screen. Oh, pay attention, y'all. This is what's her name? Micah Monroe. People, this is her actual heartbeat after witnessing the horror that is Nicolas Cage in this movie. Okay, first of all, how do we know she just didn't do a lot of cocaine?
Yeah, I was gonna say she probably took a bunch of Adderall. she stayed focused.
Yeah, and second of all, everybody's heart does that when they're around Nicolas Cage. you know what I'm saying?
Listen, I ain't trying to be crass, but did you notice how hard her nipples were in that scene? I mean, you showed it twice. I was like, I wasn't even looking for it, but it was like, God, it's right there. Like once you see it, you can't not see it.
No, y'all heard that. Martin said it, not me.
I know.
Not me.
I know. I'm just saying, anybody else see that?
So what you're saying is she wasn't horrified. She was just horny. Shit, I've been wanting to Cage my whole life.
I'm just saying, they're telling us how she felt or what made her heart go. And we don't know.
Shit, that might not even be her heart. That might be her nipples knocking on that shirt. People, look, if she knew she was in a movie with Nicolas Cage, this is bullshit, okay?
Of course it is.
This is bullshit, all right? She ain't walking in there terrified and horrified because she's seen Nicolas Cage for the first time. She knows that's goddamn Nicolas Cage, okay? Get the out of here. Like I said, that's just Nicolas Cage, all right?
Right.
Except it's Nick Cage being crazy Nicolas Cage.
Uh-huh.
You know, ain't nothing different.
Wait, did you put that box in front of his face? Or?
No, hell no.
Okay.
You know I wouldn't do no stupid shit like that.
I would hope not.
No, because it ain't that big of a deal.
It's not a big deal.
Hell,
You see him way before that. And that the way they have him made up is not scary.
Man, the only reason why they put that box on his face is because they don't want to show you how shitty of a makeup job that is.
Right.
All right? I'm not going to be mean here, but I'm going to tell you this whole thing with this movie being the most... Now, I'm not saying people can't be scared of this, but if you're sitting up here telling me that this is the scariest movie of the decade, I was skeptical going in, but I went in with no expectations. But when I came out, I said, it's bullshit.
Thank you.
Complete, 100% utter, unadulterated, unfiltered, grade A, organic bullshit, all right? That's the bullshit you buy at Whole Foods, okay?
Right.
Out of here.
Pay 4 times as much.
Hell, it's just Nicolas Cage with a high voice and a bunch of bad rub on his face. He's still doing Nicolas Cage shit in this movie. He's still Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
There's scenes where he's driving down the street. Oh, it's like, that's Nicolas Cage. What is different, y'all?
Completely non sequitur, as doesn't match anything else. Like the movie has its own groove, and then it cuts to him, and he's doing something completely different.
Yeah.
And I was like, was this supposed to be scary? Because I think it's making people giggle.
Yeah, it's Nicolas. I mean, if you were laughing at Nicolas Cage before, why the is he so horrifying here?
Right.
Except that, like, and the makeup on that they have, and they try to hide this shit. People, that makeup job is not that amazing. All right, they gotta hide it. It ain't that horrifying. It's funny.
Yeah, because it's so bad that I figured, okay, at some point he'll pull this off and show that this is just a mask he's been wearing. Yeah. And it's like, oh, that's really supposed to be his actual skin? Oh,
I thought that was the horror. I said, oh shit, this dude is so crazy. He's wearing somebody else's face.
Right.
And they're like, no, that's just some bad, that's a bad rubber mask on him, man. This shit, you know, I'm looking at this, like you can see you can see the rubber.
Yeah.
Stretching on this. You know, it was making me laugh more than I was scared. Cause this shit looks like, cause some scenes, and it's funny how it switches, cause some scenes he looks like a crazy old woman that escaped from a nursing home.
Right.
The other part looked like he's just doing his version of the Joker. Or they fished Willy Wonka's dead body out the lake or something.
Well, man, you talk about the Joker. I mean, to have the whole scene in the interrogation room, I was like, wonder where y'all saw this before.
Yeah, this is, I don't even think he knew he was doing this movie. I think he was auditioning for the Joker. I give it to this trailer. I think the marketing has scared people so much and has been so effective that people, when they see the movie, they already think it's the scariest thing they've ever seen.
The power of suggestion can be very strong.
Yes. Before they see the movie, they see this, which is it's great. It's very creepy. Because what this trailer does is that, I mean, it's an amazing, effectively, it's an effectively amazing piece of marketing right here. Mm-hmm. You know, because the trailer's creepy enough to where it already invokes dread. And the movie, I'll tell you this, the movie already gives off vibes of another movie that will creep you out or make you feel weird if you think about that film. Being that you're dealing with a young female FBI agent that is going after a really disturbed serial killer. What does it remind you of?
Then he shoots them, skins them.
I'll help you catch him, Clary.
You know,
forgot how young she was in that.
She was very young, and we'll talk about, at least I will, Martin might bring up something sooner, but I'll tell you how I feel about this movie compared to Longlegs compared to Silence of the Lambs. Because yes, there is some comparisons definitely to be made. But also it puts this movie, at least for how I feel about this movie, very much in perspective for me. I will say this about this movie, Longlegs. So a lot of what you see in the trailer, I do think crosses over in the movie when you see it. It has this creepy mood, which is very effective. Listen, this director, I think he's an excellent craftsman. Him and his cinematographer, unless he is the cinematographer. I haven't had time to really look and see how much he's doing on
I
this
think it
movie.
is somebody else.
But together, and so if it's somebody else together, they are amazing. The visuals and the pacing all work together to create that dread that I'm talking about. The atmosphere is already cold and gray. So it's making these interiors when you go in people's houses, it makes it very dark and foreboding, if you will,
Yeah.
Because, it's like they go looking for, at the beginning of this movie, they go looking for a killer. So they go into this neighborhood trying to find this killer, man. And every house that we go into looks like a serial killer lives there. I was like,
true.
I was like, no wonder you couldn't find this dude.
I know. How do you pick?
It looks like Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, and John Wayne Gacy all moved into the same suburb. Like, if you're a crazy killer, you buy real estate here. I was like, no, because they were like,
they give you discounts.
yeah. The higher your body count is, the cheaper price you get. It's like they go in this neighborhood, and one guy's like, oh, where do we start? And I can see why, because every house looks like a serial killer house. So I kind of like that, man. And the pacing is slow, but I think it also adds to that feeling of dread, because I was always tense with anticipation. So it kind of made what are cheap jump scares here, which for everybody talking about how amazing this movie is, I said, man, there's just a lot of really typical jump scares in here. Some of them were so effective because this guy did create great atmosphere and mood beforehand. I didn't really appreciate them as scares. I just said, you know what? He made them fun. He actually made them kind of, he made it fun for me to jump. And there's all these oddities thrown in, like, somebody outside the window talking about coo, 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 or somebody, when it's real quiet and still, somebody just bang on the door. And I jumped at these things, man. And also a lot of that, is mysterious. So it has you thinking as you're trying to put all this stuff together, because there is a lot of stuff that's not being told to you. You have to put all this stuff together as it goes along. So a lot of things leaves your imagination doing the work. Your imagination gonna work overtime. It's gonna do extra work to make things scarier for you, which, may work against the movie with some people, but apparently not, because a lot of people love this. But, everything I just told you is also contributing to a lot of the criticisms that I have here. But, like I said, I've been, ever since you you sat down and I mentioned this movie on this show, and I've been watching you.
Don't look at me.
These days,
you worry about yourself.
I ain't worried about nothing. I already said I had to say it. Now I want to hear from you, because today you've been unpredictable. These last few shows you've been unpredictable. But I just, something on your face told me, I just want to hear what you have to say about this.
Well, if I seem less predictable, it's because hearing you come out the gate like you did made me sigh with relief. Because yes, we were in a room full of critics who were all hyped up for it. And even afterwards, I didn't even talk with them. I just sat like looking at my phone, just listening. And I could hear how some were cautiously hyped and some were in the middle, but they all talked themselves into being up here about it by the end of it all. For me, this was like a really good magic trick, but but it's a trick. And I know you never, the ball was in your hand. You palmed that ball the whole time. And I've seen this trick before.
Wow. And they have a literal ball in their hand.
Yeah, they have a literal ball in their hand. You know what? First off, I'm going to say, to piggyback on you, the visuals are fantastic. And the camera work is fantastic. I mean, to me, that is the star of all this. And this director, Osgood Perkins, I was one of the few people who really liked his last movie, Gretel and Hansel. I love the way that was put together. And I didn't even have any complaints about it. I was like, man, this is a really good movie. And everybody was like, no, that movie sucked. And now here it is. There's this one. The craft is good.
Yeah.
And in comparison to Silence of the Lambs, not at all.
No,
not at all.
No.
I mean, that's the thing. So much this movie has the particulars, the dressing, the props from Silence of the Lambs and Seven. And yeah, you watch the trailer and you go like, oh, it's like those movies. Well, it looks like those movies. It is not like those movies. Because when we get with our protagonist here, we don't get to know her.
No.
We barely get to know her. So it's not like you're really following this story with her. There's some good performances, with the exception of Nicolas Cage. But this movie also has a big problem in that I think it just moves along without actually being all that interesting. It's a movie that's creepy, but I never felt scared. I didn't even feel any real tension from it. It just kept moving from one thing to another. But another big thing is that it's a movie with a surprise ending that anybody watching this already knows 45 minutes before it's revealed. So by the time it's going like, and you're like, was that supposed to be a twist? Because I kind of figured that from all this other stuff you've been doing so far.
Yeah. See, that's I kind of am there with a lot of your criticisms. Like, I praise this movie for a lot of things. I said the pacing kind of makes you anticipate the jump scare right around the corner. It's kind of telegraphed where it's meant to be fun, but the pacing is really something that I didn't like here in a lot of parts. And those jump scares for a movie that's supposed to be kind of elevated horror here, I was like, those jump scares were cheap. Yeah. They were very typical. The pacing, while it does add dread, it was just boring to me in a lot of places.
Oh yeah.
I tell you, it might have worked better if I thought the characters were more interesting. I'm gonna tell you something, man. This is what separates this movie from Silence of the Lambs, as you were saying, Martin. Silence of the Lambs. In that movie, everything had depth. The characters felt real. Even characters as crazy as Hannibal Lecter, because he had depth. The characters they had the charisma to draw you in if they were crazy and are exaggerated. And even though the pacing is also very gradual in The Silence of the Lambs, it still has something that this movie doesn't have, and that's story progression.
Yeah. Thank you. That was it. It felt repetitive. Like we're going to go here. This is going to happen. Wash, rinse, repeat. Yeah.
And when I tell you that these characters were not that interesting, so people are familiar with this girl, Michael Monroe. She's, for horror fans, they already know her from It Follows. Right. She's been in some other things. She's detective, our agent, FBI agent Lee Harper. But man, her character it's almost like she's getting duller with every movie. I'm not even talking about her because the pacing is supposed to be real slow in this movie, and I think her performance is supposed to add to that, which for me is not a good thing. She is one of the dullest characters I have seen in a while. And I always say this about characters, but I 100% mean this. This man can back me up. She goes through this whole movie with the days. What you see right there is what you see through this whole movie. Yep. She might as well just be wearing that mask through the whole film.
Yep, dazed and sad.
Dazed and like she is so dazed, I couldn't buy her as an agent.
You know what? That was another thing too. I had a lot of trouble buying her as an agent.
Yeah, because she looks so crazy sometimes. I thought, are you the killer? I thought, now that'd be a twist. Not so much because you look crazy the whole movie. It looked like she had a case of that movie autism. Where they, that Rain Man, when she just stand there and just look, but she's good at putting clues together. Like you put a puzzle in front of her, clues, she can solve that shit in a minute. She'll solve it. Yeah, she'll solve the hell out of it. But when she's in the field, that bitch is back in the clouds again. I was like, I said, do nobody let you do your job like this? Hell, they would have a psych evaluation for you, or they would test your ass for drugs, or both. And there's a moment where her boss comes out, he's like, damn it, see what you did, you this all up. I say, hell yeah, because she don't know what she's doing at the time. She didn't pay, is that a surprise to you? She ain't paying attention to what she's doing.
It's funny, at that moment where he said, see, you this all up, I was like, none of y'all were going by a procedure. This whole thing was set up in a way where it could only fail. And even like the first person who gets killed, I won't say who it is, I was like, well, that was a dumb way to go about your job.
She was
is this everybody's first day, everybody's first case?
Yeah, she's the chick that would be at the office putting all these puzzles together, like Rain Man. Because even she talked like that sometimes. She hardly had any dialogue. I don't know about this. I can't see that far ahead. It's like they'd have your goddamn Dustin Hoffman looking ass in the office putting shit together. They would have you in the field.
Yeah, she would not be a field agent.
And everyone is hardly has anything to do in this movie, man. Everybody either has a little personality, or they gave good performances, but there was just not much to the character themselves. Like I'm looking at Like in the movie, I thought that, and let me see if I can find my man over here. I thought that your boy Blair Underwood was actually pretty good.
Yeah, when I talked about the good performances, he's the one I mostly thought of, but he's just not in it enough. He just bounces in and out.
He's not in it a lot, and he's also a character that, he's a stock character we see in every movie. He's a police chief, or the chief of the FBI, whatever,
Yeah,
and that's the way he plays it. There's nothing different outside of that role. He just gives a really good performance with what he has, which is not much. Are these people, I don't know if you noticed this, these people are written slightly absurdist. That like a lot of these people are in this movie are played up for laughs.
Yeah.
Like they have a forensics guy that acts weird and that's played up for laughs. And when you do that, that kind of takes away from the actual crazy person. In the movie.
Right.
Like everybody's nuts in this world.
Yeah, who's the Joker when everybody's the Joker?
Yeah, exactly. When everybody running around come on, man. And it could, like, again, I've noticed that I have been in the minority for a lot of these movies. This will be the third movie I saw where I'm just kind of like, everybody loves this movie, but I'm the person who I've just had enough of just weirdness for weirdness sake.
Right.
It's the same way as shock humor or something. It's just weirdness to get a reaction. And I feel there's some of that going on here.
Yeah. It's funny. Just earlier, I read something by our friend Andrew, and he's talking about kinds of kindness. And he's like, look, Yorgos, when everybody's weird, when everything's weird, nothing is weird.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing that keeps happening in these. It's like, isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? Like, well, now it's just a bunch of weirdness, and it doesn't even make a mark anymore.
Sad, what is this? Sad things, sad creatures, or whatever. The last Vorgos movie. Poor Things.
Poor Things, jeez.
Poor Things had nothing but oddball characters, but it had a story.
It did. It had a strong story.
And a very strong story. And I feel like the story is not that strong, or if your weirdness doesn't fit. Like I said, this is Silence of the Lambs if it was directed by an art house theater or David Lynch or something,
Yeah.
So when I watch this, it's kind of like, man, the weirdness with everybody acting weird is getting in the way of the story. And, and so you're just being weird to get a reaction without instilling a feeling or really telling you, focusing on your story as much. I'll tell you somebody that I did like in this, and I think that she probably was the most interesting character in the movie to me. And I know it's supposed to be Nicolas Cage, but like I said, it was Nicolas Cage with a bunch of shit on his face, all right, and a crazy wig. And Alicia Witt, who played Lee's mom. I thought that she was very good in the movie because she's a character that has, there's something going on with her that kept me guessing about her. She's a woman suffering from a mental breakdown that her mental state seems to, maybe hint that there's more going on with her. And I just liked her performance. I really thought she was good in this. It did pick up for me at the end, but like you were saying, now I don't know, maybe the director meant for this to be telegraphed, but because I feel like, all right, I was picking up little clues here and there in the movie, and I thought, oh, okay, so this is what it's leading to. I kind of thought this is what it was leading to. This is interesting to me that it all came together like I kind of figured it would. So I didn't mind it being a little bit predictable because I thought maybe that was, done on purpose. But it just didn't justify the slow ass time that it took to get there.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't, bank everything on a twist. You can spot it because it's logical.
Yeah,
but it doesn't sit well when the protagonist, the hunter, the one who's trying to solve it, is the last one to figure shit out.
And she's ineffective.
Yeah.
There was some shit near the end of the movie. I was like, do something.
Right.
You're an FBI dude. Come on. I can understand why it was a difficult decision for her, but I was like, man, but this character was never effective in anything. Nothing.
No. Yeah, you hope you get a character who's going to be driving things rather than just reacting to what's going on. And yeah, the movie, I just felt like it's just very thin, but with a lot of, it's like if you had a really thin Christmas tree, but you hung just so many bulbs and ornaments on it, to make it into something. But in the end, it just kind of flopped down like Charlie Brown's tree did. Because of the other things they throw in there, it's like, well, what else creepy can we put in here?
Yeah.
Oh, I know, dolls. Everybody's creeped out by dolls.
That's true.
It's like, man, y'all just pouring it on.
Yeah.
And rather than adding the stuff, write the structure. Give us something to really follow. I just over and over, I was like, this is a collection of things I've seen before, and I had a hard time holding my interest. I mean, and it was like I came here looking forward to this. I wasn't super hyped for it, but I thought this could be, horror's been getting so much better lately, and this could be one of those. And it's just not there.
Yeah, and let me tell you, I went in knowing nothing. When people start talking about the trailer, I said, you know what, I don't want to see it. I'd rather wait to see what's going on. So believe me, I didn't go in any expectations. So I'm not saying, people gassed my head up and then I went in and I was let down because I wanted more. No, nothing like that. I try my best not to do that these days with movies.
Sure.
But let me say this, man. I do think that the director is great. Like I said, I don't like talking about people's work these days if it really shows promise. And I think this director is great at creating mood. And I think there will be enough, that alone would be enough for a lot of people. Just not for me. And that goes into answering somebody's question right here. Somebody said, well, damn, why is everybody glazing this movie then, man? And so I have some thoughts on that, and Martin already kind of said it. He already said the power of persuasion is very strong. Mm-hmm. They had such strong and effective marketing that I think that played on people. And then, when people saw it, they brought that with them. And then once everybody started saying it was great, well, shit, now we're at the point where, well, I ain't gonna be the dumb looking critic, Or, as you said, they talk themselves, they hype themselves up for it. Mm-hmm. And it's effective enough to where it will put your mind over. But also, that's me talking about other people. The truth is that some things, some things are just not for me. Some things are just not for you. And there's a lot of people out there loving that. I'm the one that just didn't love it as much. I don't know why. I gave you my reasons, but I can't tell you why everybody else is loving it. So again, I guess we're in the minority, and I don't, talk about people liking this. I can see how the movie is effective enough for people to be carried over to that point. They're thinking it's the scariest thing, but I'm gonna call 100% bullshit on this being the scariest movie even of the year. Okay,
yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm just not buying that. That is where true hype is really in play here. Mm-hmm. So I'm giving this a rental, just plain old rental, man. So I can just really kind of praise it for the things that it does well. But I'm sorry, it just didn't deliver for me the areas that it should be for a horror movie, and that's the scares, especially if you're supposed to be the scariest goddamn thing ever created. This didn't work for me.
Well, not even the scariest thing ever created, just scary at all.
Yeah.
I'm just not getting scared of this even a little bit. And I don't want to speak for anybody else. Yeah, I so echo so much of what you said. Why do they love it? But one thing I will say about people loving it, there's so many film fans and film lovers who will just love anything with Nicolas Cage. Anything that has, if they hear Nicolas Cage is in it, they love it already. Is Nicolas Cage in it? Yeah. Wait, is it just regular Nicolas Cage, or does he have a freak out scene? Oh, he's got a freak out scene. I already love this movie.
Yeah, they ain't never no regular Nicolas Cage.
Well, he's got movies like The Weatherman and stuff, and
even he has a freak out. He's guaranteed one freak out per movie.
Yeah. I guess he's got to yell at some point. Another movie. I mean, not movie, but something else this reminded me of watching it was playing Alan Wake 2.
And somebody else just mentioned
Did they say that? Yeah. I got that feeling. And, and it's like Alan Wake 2, which I find to be very creepy, but also kind of dull. And that's just me. And I left this movie feeling like you. I was like, I don't even want to go around saying this movie's bad, but it didn't work for me. And, I'm comfortable being in the minority about that. And I also, because of the things I think do work about it, and the possibility that other people will dig it, I will also give it a rental.
Yeah, there you go. That's fair. Everybody's fair around here. So there you go, people. There you go. I hope you enjoyed the last horror movie ever made, y'all. Since horror cannot compare
No.
to this movie right here.
Nothing's gonna beat
Yeah,
that.
people, go see this movie. Spend your money because this is gonna be the one. Our horror ends here with long legs. Well, you made it to the end of the video. That must mean you really like what we do. So if you do, check out these other videos just like this one. Check out our other YouTube channels and subscribe to join our wonderful Toasty community. And as always, stay toasty.